It's different from an ordinary big cinema. It's more personal.
It's really nice to have these unique little places which are different, which are slightly kind of set aside.
The atmosphere's still there, which I think was always unique to the cinema.
And I was really surprised about just how much had changed about the building itself.
There was this real need to kind of increase the services and the facilities that we could offer, particularly things like access, but also to just give it a bit of a shine.
The cinema was in quite a difficult situation. It'd been running here as an art house cinema for the region since the 60s, and had some highs and lows. You know, had some real highs through the 1980s. Through the 1990s, it had some real lows. I think mainly because they didn't have. They found it really hard to keep people in the role of director of the cinema, and they had a very high turnover of people.
And I actually started at the Tyneside when we were over at Gateshead, so my only experience of the building had been as a customer, and I always used to love coming here because of obviously the films, the type of place it was. But I think there was definitely a perception that it was certainly a bit run down, and if you wanted to be very cruel, that it was pretty grotty.
Did need something doing to it. Yeah.
I quite like rough around the edges.
Yes, yeah.
But yes, it did need, like the seating was a bit punitive.
To have a successful cultural cinema, you have to have at least 3 screens. The simple reason being that we tend to show way more product than multiplexes do. There's much more independent film emerging, and digital will mean more and more coming out in the future all the time.
I think as the popularity of the cinema was increasing, it was definitely ready to change the way it was projecting its films. I think the digital kind of introduction was definitely something that the cinema was definitely ready for it, and it was ready for that technological boost.
Yeah, I was over here quite a lot. Probably too much for the builders sometimes. But yeah, I'd come over probably 2-3 times a week. A lot of the work initially on the building was about demolition. And for the first few weeks it looked like we were just destroying the Tyneside cinema.
It was the process of kind of watching it develop very slowly, day by day almost. And then all of a sudden it was closed for a week or so whilst no one could go in and the floor was getting renovated, and we came back in and there it was, kind of this sparkling masterpiece, which was quite kind of impressive.
The whole building is in a process of change on a daily and weekly basis. So we do a much wider programme, so we're attracting much wider audiences. The events, one-off events, attracting people that have never been in before, and that's happened 6 months after opening.
It was just like, wow, you could still see the essence of it, but you could, obviously there's changes with it. Fresher, obviously more updated, and I really liked it. Now you see it, you think, you know, it works.
I love the way that they've respected the old structure and some of the internal decoration, like the mosaic floor, which is beautiful.
I mean, you'd unearthed some of those lovely mosaics and the windows. I just thought it was wonderful. My children, my grandchildren, they all love it. I think you've brought out the best features of the place, and the colours are super. The natural colours and the actual seating arrangement and the food, brilliant.
They've kept its character.
It was rather strange because I was so used to the building as it was, and it was very different.
The thing is with the place, it just seems to keep on changing as well. It's not as though the refurbishment happened and then they've just kind of left the kind of evolution of it just to stop. It's still happening, and there's still stuff changing about it all the time.
It's a really kind of exciting time at the moment for the Tyneside to not only be screening film, but to also have a kind of key hand in creating the film of the future.
Operationally, we've got a long way to go before it reaches its potential, so it's in its development, so I think we're probably in phase 2 of 5 or 6 stages of development to look at, you know, how far can we take it.
I think the fatal thing for the Tyneside as a building is if we built something that then becomes a sort of edifice, it becomes something that, you know, becomes very purist and won't let anybody in to come and play. And actually what we aspire to do is try and create some sort of playground, so we're trying to find ways of breaking the structure and opening it up so people with new ideas can come in and play and get new ideas in front of audiences. I think the one thing that this building is really good at is generating audiences' excitement and getting audiences integrating and kind of engaging with ideas and with artists and filmmakers.